Hey Libra, I'm Eleanor and welcome to Peaches by Starlight Tarot. This is your weekly pick a card reading where we are exploring your monthly energy of the Page of Cups, which is it's a childlike energy and it's also a spiritual awakening type energy, like hearing the call towards something new, an emotionally expansive journey. And your weekly energy is Spider, which is talking about your choices. So together this is talking about taking control and ownership by taking the reins of your choices and owning your choices and realizing that you always have one even if you don't like what they are. So your annual and your monthly readings are linked below if you want to see where these cards pop out and I talk more about them. I'm using the Journey Oracle and the Linestrider Tarot. I have stack 1, 2, 3. They're linked below if you want to skip ahead straight to, or they're timestamped below if you want to skip ahead to the one you choose, or you can see them all if you like, whichever ones feel like they apply to you. These are general, so if you would like a private reading through email, my Etsy page is linked below. If you hear anything today that's going to serve you on your path, let me know by hitting that like button, or if you want to talk more about it, you can tell me in the comments which stack you chose and how it's resonating or not. And then if you hear something that you feel like is going to serve someone that you know, a friend, please share with them. I do 5 readings a month per sign, so if you want to keep up with how we're exploring your monthly themes, please hit that subscribe button. So stack 1 for Libra, you have the 10 of Cups, Queen of Wands, and Talisman. So this does show you moving towards breakthroughs, breaking down and tearing down the walls and structures that stand between you and your perfect vision of what life ought to be. When your definition of having it all, you are barreling towards that passionately and at breakneck speed. And that has to do with having recognized the power of your choices, that the powerlessness to create the life that you want lies in that feeling like you don't have choices. And even when you don't make them, it's still in your power to, when you don't want to make them, it's still in your power to make them. And so it's as though discovering that feels like a brand new toy and you're really enjoying using it and accessing it. And so it's as though every time you watch it work and you have success with it, it feels like it's becoming a magic wand in your hand, like a magic charm. And that's where I feel like this talisman is. It's like all of a sudden you feel like you have this superpower. You have this, like a special tool in your pocket that other people don't have. And so it makes it is helping you move toward, you are on fire for whatever this new toy is that you have. Okay. Stack 2. Justice in reverse, the Lovers, Queen of Clubs. So straight off, the Queen of Clubs is here lending an air of luck, a stroke of luck to your week. And so that means pretty much everything you do is going to be kind of blessed and everything should mostly be going in your favor. Now the Lovers comes up when we're talking about big life-changing decisions to be made, choices. So we're talking about choices, of course, so that really ties in. Where you're choosing a path at this time needs to be towards a restoration of balance. So where have things gotten imbalanced, unfair? Where has equilibrium been thrown off? And the Justice card does speak on like a mathematical equilibrium where things may be fair or not fair based on if you have placed yourself at the center of the universe, and they may actually be balanced, but if you are placing yourself at the center, they appear to be off balance. So anyway, when you move towards restoration of balance, it has to be, in order to make that choice, in order to figure out which path it is and recognize the door that's going to take you there, kind of like Sarah in Labyrinth has to choose between which door knocker, or one of them's the liar and one of them's she has a series of challenges where she has to choose which door is going to lead her towards her goal. And so in order to be able to figure this out and choose the right path that the Lovers is asking you to choose, you have to be unified in yourself. Your heart and mind have to be on the same page. So this is not a willy-nilly impulsive decision. You need to be first strong and courageous enough to choose yourself, because this imbalance seems like as though it has been created by not having the strength to choose yourself in all situations. And being able to be deeply and brutally honest with yourself with what you really want, and how maybe your decision making has been driven by a lack of clarity and a lack of honesty with what you want, or not being sure what you want, so you make whatever impulsive decision makes sense in the moment, but without a really super clear goal in mind. So get clear and unified, make sure, and you can have a goal that your mind wants and your heart can have a different goal. And so if you're making choices, sometimes what your mind thinks and sometimes what your heart thinks, you end up kind of in limbo and kind of in the middle of nowhere. So make sure that everyone's on the same page. We all have our GPS set to the same place. We're all going to the right Red Robin, right? Someone's not going to the one in St. Peter's and someone's going to the one in O'Fallon. We got the right place, right? Your heart and mind, knowing you got the right spot. It's a silly analogy, but that's what came to me at that moment. Okay. Stack 3, Ace of Pentacles reversed, 5 of Cups, and Eve. So Eve talks about how we are only human. I'm only human. You are only human. Everyone around you that is frustrating, everyone around you that you think is amazing and great and perfect, everyone is human and flawed in some way. And that balance of perfection doesn't mean perfectly healed. They have no issues. Perfect in the Zen sense, where, have you heard the one where the monk says to the lesser monk, like, there's leaves all over this path, I can't get by, you need to sweep it up. So the monk sweeps it up, there's not a leaf anywhere, it's perfect. And he says, see, master, it's perfect now. And the master goes, nah, not so much, and grabs up a handful of leaves and like sprinkles some leaves on the path. He goes, now it's perfect. Okay, that sense, that definition, that concept of perfection is how we are perfect. And so it's showing here with the 5 of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles that you may be blaming yourself for something that went south. And it may have been a situation where you were overconfident. And so when overconfidence leads to either a failure or at least falling short of expectations, that can really harsh your confidence, because then you don't want to repeat the same mistake. And so that's how we learn to keep ourselves small, because our overconfidence led to a pain or a restriction in some way. And so we'll start to curb that confidence in hopes of avoiding that negative feedback in the future. And so you're being asked to forgive yourself, accept what happened. And that the thing about guilt is a negative emotion in that it is a place of powerlessness because of something that happened in the past. And your inability to go back in time and do differently, if you just remain in that state of can't fix it, then that's what they call negative stress. And positive stress is when you can rise to the challenge, and negative stress is when you have no power. And so guilt over the past is powerless. Where your power lies is to choose differently now. How am I going to use what happened to choose differently to move forward now? And you can regain your power by reorienting to what your choice is right now. What can I choose differently in this moment? And in that, you come back to where your power is in the present moment. Okay, I will talk to you in a week, Libra. Thank you.